Hey, it's Benji Cole, son of Al Cole from CBS Radio and host of People of Distinction, the talk that gives an in-depth view of some of the most dynamic, intelligent, and successful people on the planet. Run to our website, peopleofdistinction.org for more info, or you can always email me directly at benji@alcoleenterprises.com. And on the line with us today, we have Sherryl L. McCorkle. Now, we're going to be discussing her amazing poetry book, Afro-American Me. It's available for purchase through Amazon as well as barnesandnoble.com. And before we go any further, people, I want to let you know that Sherryl was brought to our network by some of the best publishers in the business, Author Reputation Press. So if you or anyone you know have a book that they'd like moved, give yourself the best gift you could possibly give. Contact ARP and have their wonderful team move it for you. You can find out more information on them at authorreputationpress.com. And listen, it is an absolute pleasure to have Sherryl here on the line. And she's the expert. So let's bring her here on the line with us because at the end of the day, she's going to be able to articulate it much better than I ever could. Sherryl, first and foremost, welcome to People of Distinction, and thank you very much for being a guest. How are you doing today?
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Well, listen,
so grateful. Thank you.
Of course. Absolutely. Listen, you're too kind. Okay. The pleasure is all ours. We're very much looking forward to this discussion. And Sherryl, at the end of the day, you started it. Okay. You had to lay the foundation in order for us to even extend the invite. So thank you very much for all the work that you've done to this point to really, set us off on this journey. Now, I know we have a lot of information to cover pertaining to the book, Sherryl, but I'm going to hold off slightly before jumping in. I want to learn a little bit more about your background, so please tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Oh, yes. I'm from Dayton, Ohio. I've been in mental health and the chemical dependency field for the last 13 years. I absolutely love it, and I've experienced some of that in my family, so that's why it was so important for me to take advantage of that field. And I'm a writer. I used to want to be a rapper. That was my goal when I was younger. I wanted to be this famous rapper. Love me some Salt and Pepper and MC Light, and so that's where poetry comes in for me. It was so easy for me to write because poetry was my thing. Writing was my getaway. When I was upset, I would write.
There you go. Listen, when you're talking about that golden age of hip-hop, I'm right there with you, okay? I mean, just don't make them like they used to, right? Just don't make them like they used to. Well, that's a conversation for another day, Sherryl, and I could talk to you for hours just on that. But let's talk about your book, Afro-American Me. Now, we know where the love for poetry comes from. Tell us about this book.
Oh, Afro-American Me is about me growing up as an African-American woman, some of my trials and my tribulations. Mm-hmm. As a young mother, I was told by my stepmother that I wasn't going to be anything because I had a baby at a young age. So I continued on with my education, and even through all the hard times I had, I graduated, and I started writing, and college made me a poet. They published, my poems were being published, and I kept everything. And one of my professors told me, you are a great writer. And it's like she already knew that I was going to be a writer. She said, when you write your book, can I have a copy? I said, you sure can. And here I am with Afro-American Me published.
There you have it. Now, I want to go into inspiration quickly, Sherryl, because listen, I know based upon your initial response in terms of, again, your background and that love for writing and where that comes from. And of course, the influence from education, teachers, things like that nature. I see that. Now, I want to know why you felt compelled to publish the book. Because, Sherryl, listen, this very easily could have been something that you wrote about in your spare time that stayed on your personal shelf or something that you verbally told those around you. But given what this book represents, I'm sure there's much more there underneath. What were you seeing? What made you feel compelled or inspired to publish the book for the masses?
I wanted to inspire somebody else that may have went through what I went through, but in a different way, and that I wanted other women to know that, you know, no matter what you go through, you can, you know, you can make it, you know, no matter where you come from. I wanted to share my message of being proud to be an African American woman, and that, you know, some of the stigmas that came from me, you know, raising, you know, my young men. I got 3 sons, and raising them up on public assistance, you know, and sometimes, you know, people live their lives, you know, in poverty, and they feel like there's nothing else they can do. They're scared to, you know, take that step to, you know, make your life better. And so I wanted to share that no matter if I can do it, anybody can do it. I wanted to share that. That was very important for me.
I love that. And
the fact that people told me that I'd never publish a book. You know, I went through a lot to do that, and here it is. Whether somebody, you know, a lot of people that were supposed to have my back that didn't buy my book would say, you know, how's your book doing? You know, but I published my book. So here I am. I'm a published author. So
there you have it. You know, Sherryl,
I think that was very important.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. Sherryl, I love what you just said. And I just want to take a second. I know you're not looking for a compliment. I know you're not looking to be commended. But people, can we just take a second and appreciate the courage and the bravery that takes? And listen, let me just start off by speaking from my own perspective here, okay? I know that there are moments that it's hard enough for me to go and look at myself in the mirror, right? And see certain things about myself that I don't necessarily want to recognize, or things about myself that I know that I want to improve. But then to take it a step further and to construct this literary window of sorts for others to see in. Can we take a second and admire the bravery that takes and the courage that takes? Because listen, I know that in 2022, given technology, given social media, listen, there's a lot of faking going around, okay? There's a lot of people that, you know, they'll put some stuff online knowing that behind closed doors, it's not really happening like that. And I love what she has said and what she's done, because she was able to recognize that, hey, listen, I had these barriers in front of me, and I didn't let that stop me. So, A, I wanted to do it for myself, to prove to myself that I could do it. But also, she had enough wherewithal to understand that there are going to be others out there that have similar circumstances that they're dealing with and they're contending with. And they're going to find inspiration in her words. Because as she said, if she can do it, so can you. I love those. I love that advice. You know, people, listen, you know where you got to go. Amazon and Barnes & Noble. Afro-American Me is the title you got to pick up. Sherryl L. McCorkle is the author you have to thank for bringing it to your table. Head on over there today. Pick up your copies. You know, Sherryl, I'd love to take this opportunity, and my listening audience is going to get very upset with me if I don't move here already, okay? This is a poetry book, so we know it's comprised of poems you've written over a number of years. Well, we'd love to take an opportunity and really be introduced to some of your poetry. So if you have one readily available, we would love to hear it.
Sure. This poem is called Striptease. And this Striptease, I was inspired to write this because raising 3 boys, it was hard. But I didn't want to live in public housing anymore. I wanted to have my own house. So I worked 2 jobs to keep us with a house. And so a lot of times I would think, Dad, maybe I can go to the strip club and make me some money. And I thought about it, so I don't judge girls who go out and strip to make their money, but I never did it. God would always make a way. So I wrote this poem. Takes the catwalk, a lioness, queen of the jungle, approaching her stage with mysterious eyes. Who gets devoured? Who's her prey? As the music begins, her body sways. She moves seductively to the rhythm. The lighting is dim, creating an ambiance of mystique. Her silhouette graces the spotlight. Goddess of the night, sexy ballerina, lady of mystery, sexy señorita. The gents rejoice and oh, Visions of her dance serenade their heads. She's their ultimate fantasy. Her pain runs deep, though the gents won't see. The merciless landlord who screams, "Pay me my rent or get out. This place here ain't for free." Her pain runs deep, though the gents won't see. The children cry out, "Mommy, Mommy, we're hungry. When can we eat?" She dances with emotion. She dances with passion, relieving her tormented soul, unleashing the power of her true compassion. She makes love to the music as she coils her body around the pole. She dances. She dances. For this she knows. This jungle is hers. She runs the show.
Listen, can I just start by saying, when you said the name of the poem, I thought we were going in a different direction. I was like, girl, I don't know if this is the platform for it, but if that's what you want to do. No, but listen, that was incredible because people, it's visceral, it's strong, it's rooted. Man, you know what? Let's just keep it moving. I love it, people. That's just one poem. The book is filled with them. Okay, so we know if that's the precipice that's leading us on this journey, yeah, we're in for a treat here. Sherryl, what would you say was a highlight for you in writing the book? Or if not a highlight, something that surprised you that you weren't anticipating before you began?
I'm going to say that my story came out in it. It was all about me. And so I was just, I surprised myself. I surprised myself.
That's never a bad thing, right? That's never a bad thing. Sherryl, next question here. And listen, I think we've already started to go into it. And I think it's safe to assume the answer to the next question. But you know what happens when you assume. So I'm not going to do that to you. I have you here on the line. I'm going to go directly to the source. Who would you say is your intended audience with this book? And then the second part to that question, again, I feel like we've already started to go into it. And if we have, it's so important, it's worth doubling down on. So A, who is your intended audience? And B, what is the message that you hope that they receive from your book?
I'm going to say every woman, college students, single mothers, and question number 2, you said what did you say again?
And then what would be the main message that you hope that they receive from it?
Be you. Embrace you. Find out, what you want to do with your life. And do it. Just do it. And it's important for you to, embrace all of your mistakes, your past, use it for wisdom. Mm-hmm. And embrace your culture, embrace everything that makes you you. Don't let your past mistakes define you. Let it make you grow. Learn from it. And follow your dreams. You have to follow your dreams, and you have to do, what I say. Everybody has a purpose, and sometimes it takes us a while to find out what it is. We got to find out what our purpose is. And so, in our lives, we, the way we live our lives and what we choose is what, is what inspires somebody else. Because who are we not to shine? Who are we not to shine? And I'm so proud of myself, because for a lot of years I felt so bad about, how my life was going. And I put my foot down and I said, you know what? Afro-American me is that swagger that I have, with all my experiences and everything that I've been through. I am somebody. And I'm going to show the world who I am.
Absolutely. People, I'm telling you, this is the book you didn't even know you needed. This is going to help. Yes. It's so much bigger than a book. Can we just put that out there? It's so much bigger than just the poetry or the words that are on the page. People, this is a movement. This is a lifestyle. And it is so enriching, right? I'm telling you. I have so many things that I want to say, and I have to keep reminding myself, Benji, this is not about you, okay? This is not about you. Stay focused. It's all about Sherryl here. Last couple of questions here for you, Sherryl, as we start to close out of this wonderful, wonderful interview. I know about your past. I know about this fantastic book. I'm focusing now on the future. Please tell me there's another book on the horizon. Sherryl, what's upcoming for you?
I'm starting a book. I'm almost finished with it. It's called Dear Mama, and it's like a sequel to Afro-American Me. You know, as I said, I raised 3 young men, and it's going to be called Dear Mama. And I'm eager to get it out because all the times that they were in jail, I saved all of their letters, all of their Dear Mama letters. And I talk about in my introduction, that stereotype I was up against, that stigma I was up against of raising 3 young Black men in America, them being slain by somebody that looked like them,
right?
Jail, the AIDS epidemic, all of that. I didn't realize as a young mom what I was up against with raising them. And so I talk about that in my introduction and, the number of Black men that are incarcerated now.
Absolutely.
And so I saved all of their letters and their Dear Mama letters, and I'm going to write a book called Dear Mama because I want young Black men to know that, you can, just as I said before, you can, you don't have to define yourself by the mistakes or where you came from. It's where you go. And the things that are instilled in us as we grow up. And so I got a message with that book as well. So I am eager to get this book out.
People, we haven't even touched up on the fact that how important representation is, right? And, Sherryl just started to touch up on it now with battling against certain stigmas and coming from a community and background that she comes from. And listen, I know the title of the book is Afro-American Me, and my Black community, we'll be able to have some fun with this because we'll be able to relate to a lot of things in here and really be able to grow and develop from it. But it's so much bigger than just a particular race, right? And this is her story. This is her background. But regardless of the community in which you come from, I promise you'll be able to find things that you can relate to within it. I love this. Sherryl, listen, I generally like to close out my shows offering a reflection, offering a spiel. It doesn't even feel right to do it in this instance. I think the perfect way to close out of such a phenomenal interview as this one has been would be with another one of your poems. So if you have another one readily available, myself, my listening audience, we are all ears.
All right. Okay. With the times now, I wrote a poem called Peace Won't Be Still. So this is perfect for what's going on right now in our world. It's called Peace Won't Be Still. They say history repeats itself. Decade to decade, that statement clearly speaks for itself. As injustice prevails, the fire and smoke erupt. Riots, violence, destruction, and death. Enough is enough. No justice, no peace. Wave of the triple black fist. Peace won't be still. Killers being acquitted for the killings of unarmed Black men. It's happening now just like it did back then. Lynchings and hangings still exist. So does bombings, racism, injustice, and prejudice. Peace won't be still. The scorching smell of fire and smoke, the sound of crackling, burning buildings fall to the ground, the raging wave of the raised triple black fist, and the anthem echoes of H. Rap Brown still exist. Burn it down, burn it down, burn it down. God created all men in his image. God created all men to live for his purpose and glory. So until men live for God's will, peace won't be still. Peace won't be still. Peace won't be still.
There you have it. Listen, Sherryl took us back to church with that last one. People, I'm ready to move some mountains here. The last thing I'm gonna say, because that rabbit hole can go deep, right? And there's a lot to unpack with some of the things that she said in there. The only thing I'm gonna say with regards to that is, listen, people, it reminds me of that old adage: those who fail to learn the past are doomed to repeat it. I'm just gonna leave you with that one. Listen, people, Amazon and Barnes & Noble are where you need to go. I know the majority of you are already there. The rest of you, I don't know what you're doing. Pinch yourself. You're asleep, okay? There's something going on. Afro-American Me is the title you have to pick up. As she stated, be on the lookout because there's another one on the horizon. You will surely not be disappointed. Head on over there today. Pick up your copies. This is a wonderful, wonderful resource to add to your shelf, but an even better gift to add to someone else's. So you know where to go to pick up your copies today. Sherryl, this has been an absolute pleasure. Such an honor. I really do mean that. Thank you once again for being a guest on People of Distinction.
Thank you for having me.